Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Motivation. I'm Victor Simmons. This podcast is all about life, entrepreneurship, and marketing. So today is November 22nd, 2016, a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And, today I want to talk about roles. Roles. Knowing your role, playing your role, doing your part, which is your role. As you know, my daughter's in their eighth grade basketball season right now, and they had a game yesterday. And as I'm looking at their team, they have a pretty complete team, really good, because I think that everyone kind of knows their role, right? And I think that's very important when you have a team. It's like everyone can't be point guards, everyone can't be big men, right? Everyone can't be trying to score the ball all the time. People have to know their roles, and I think that's what makes teams complete, right? It's like, for instance, my daughter's point guard, right? She can handle the ball really well, and she can shoot threes and create her shot and create shots for others. And then you have, other girls on the team. Some are just really good at rebounding. They're like the hustle players, and they'll dive for the balls and get the tough rebounds and the block shots and play hard defense. You have other girls who are smart and they make the right play and they can run the plays and get it to, the scores on the team, and and got a couple of scores on the team. And so I think their success comes from having a complete team. And I think about that, and I think that's kind of the recipe for success for all the teams that we admire in life. Whether it's your sports team, whether it's a musical team, a school team, even an organization. I think some of the best teams are the ones where people are playing their roles, and you have people using their strengths and doing their strengths. And kind of avoiding their weaknesses a little bit, if you will, and letting that be someone else's strength. For instance, got my KU hat on, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. They got a game tonight, and I think Bill Self and the KU Jayhawks over the years have done a great job of putting together, strong teams where people are playing their roles. I think that's very important. And I think that it's important that you understand your strengths and your weaknesses, so what role to play on your team or on our team or on any team in order to have success. I don't think you don't have to be great at everything. And in fact, it's impossible to be great at everything, but you could be really good and great at just a couple of things, a handful of things. And, I think that's very important when it comes to being on a successful team. So how do you know what your strengths and your weaknesses are? Well, self-evaluation. This podcast is about life, so I'll talk a lot about, what's going on in my life and try to equate it to, everyday life. But at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is all about creating your life, not putting your destiny in someone else's hands. Not everyone's built for that. Not everyone's built to be an entrepreneur. Some people, their comfort zone is in, the realm of having a safe, secure job. I think that's very dangerous personally. I think that all of us have individual strengths that we could use to kind of take our destiny and put it in our own hands. But, when it comes to entrepreneurship, like I said, it's the thought and it's the practice and it's, being people who create their own. And of course, marketing is the tool and the vehicle that I use and my team uses, because that's the wave of the future. It's important to kind of understand that. It's very important to understand that, and when you start kind of putting together your marketing strategy, it's important that you brand yourself. People are attracted to different people for whatever reason. Like, you could attract different people than I can, and I can probably attract different people than you can or someone else might. And some of the same people we can attract together. But as you're building yourself, you're building your brand for marketing, it's important that who you are and your strengths and your weaknesses. So when you start building a team, you can understand the different role players that you're going to need around you to be successful, and also to help lift other people up so they can be successful. That's what I think it's really cool, about entrepreneurship and surrounding yourself with other people who are entrepreneurs, because you can be on like minds, and you can focus, and as you're building, working together, I mean, as teams, you can draw off of the strengths and weaknesses of other people. And yeah, I did say strengths and weaknesses because that's important. You gotta know your weaknesses. You gotta know other people's weaknesses, and then you gotta iron sharpens iron, right? And whether strengths or weaknesses, you can grow and you can learn from it. So, like I said, this morning is all about just teams and understanding what team concept is. Teams are very important. Teams propel us. Teams keep us accountable. Teams, help us feel like we're not alone. And different people playing different roles on your team or whatever you're doing is vital and is very important. Everyone can't be Michael Jordan, right? Even Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. I'm referring to the Bulls of the '90s in NBA basketball. Michael Jordan even had Scottie Pippen. He had Steve Kerr. He had Dennis Rodman. He had other people who were playing their roles, and that's also what made the team successful. So as you're being an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur means that, you can create for yourself, and creating for yourself doesn't mean that you're doing it by yourself, right? You got to have other people around you. You got to be part of a team. You got to have leadership, that your brand, or, kind of molding, your team together. So you can have success, having a vision, right? Someone on a team has to have, a vision, has to have leadership. Then you have to have, people on your team who, are good at organizing and getting people together and, staying consistent and, all of this stuff. And you don't want to do it by yourself, right? You don't want to go through life, especially with something that you're really passionate about, by yourself. You got to really connect with other people who are, of like mind. And I talk about really kind of the same stuff, because really at the end of the day, there's only a handful of things that we need to do to be successful, I think, in business and life and, just in general. So, if you're looking to be a part of a team, if you're wanting more than what you're currently getting out of life, if you understand that the path that you're taking, especially if it's a path where you're putting your destiny in someone else's hands, and that and you want to have a role, and roles can develop. You can develop different roles. Your strengths and your weaknesses can be turned into your strengths, and your strengths can even strengthen. So, if that's something that gets you excited, if that's something you can resonate with, if that's something that you can feel like, man, team is important. Together, everyone achieves more. That is important, and maybe you have a team, or maybe you need advice for your team, or maybe you just need to be a part of a team so you can learn how to develop, yourself more and develop your role so you can go on and branch off to do your own thing, man. And before I wrap this up, I do want to make this clear. As much as I believe in teams and entrepreneurship, I really think that we as individuals need to create our own worlds, right? Like, I'm talking to you from Victor Simmons' standpoint, from my my views and from my past experience and the stuff that I've learned and I've accumulated. And I want to educate people and teach people. And you got to start off as the student. You have to constantly be learning something, which I'm constantly learning from other people too. And then you go and do your own thing. Very important that you understand that. You have your own world. You have your own life. You have your own voice. You have your own influence that people are going to gravitate to. Learn. do it and then teach others and create your own world, create your own teams, create your own role players, right? And then teach them how to create their own, and so on and so forth. I don't believe that we should just be so fixated in being part of something, right? And that's it. I'm a strong believer that we still must create for self, and this just blows, right? It just blows up from anything that we're trying to accomplish in society, whether it's social or for philanthropy or whatever it is. It's very important. I think that you understand yourself, you understand your roles, you understand strengths and weaknesses, and then you branch that off, and then you just keep going and just influence as many people as we possibly can. So, that's just kind of my message today. Teams, knowing your roles, and inspiring others to become their better selves and play their best role. So I hope you all have a great day, and remember, you make it a great day. And until next time, take care, be well.